Hey folks, it's me. Happy New Year to you. And I'm back with a video entitled Be Careful What You Wish For. So I hope you're good and welcome back. It's been a really busy 2018 so far. I've been involved in a production. I was on the sound desk for a show, and I've also been a bit ill. In fact, you probably still hear it a little bit. I've still got a bit of a chest infection. I still haven't heard anything from YouTube about the guidelines, community guidelines strike that I've got, which I'm a little bit cross about. And actually, I was being a bit bloody minded about, really, and haven't made a video waiting on them to review that video. But looking at it, the only people that's hurting are you, my subs, and me. Yeah, I just think it's a hypocrisy on the part of YouTube, the fact that they gave me 3 days to contact Martin to resolve the issue, and it's been well over 5 weeks since I put up a request for a review and appealed that video strike, and they still have done nothing. I've heard nothing from them. So, and that's not the only way that YouTube seem to be unpopular with creators these days, because just on Friday we got an email, those of us with smaller channels, because I've got a second CGS channel that I've never done anything with, and I got the message about the 1,000 subscriber and 4,000 hours a year limit to join the affiliate program for YouTube, which basically means anybody that doesn't have 1,000 subscribers or 4,000 hours of watch time is no longer going to be able to earn any revenue from ads on their videos. Not that that's why most of us do it anyway, but yeah, I can see why lots of people are quite upset with YouTube at the moment. I can also see the other side of the coin and realise that it does mean potentially that YouTube can give more of their advertising pot to those creators with more popular, more regular uploads, more watch time. And I suppose there are a lot of little channels out there that are, we won't say not serious, but they're just for fun, or actually a lot of troll accounts. There's not many troll accounts with 1,000 subscribers. So as far as I'm concerned, that's a good thing. So there's two sides to that story. But I have been really despondent, and I decided just today that there's no point in me not making videos, because as I said, that only hurts you and only hurts me. So here I am back with this video entitled Careful What You Wish For, and that's going to go into the detail about the situation that I've had with Martin Guitars. It also is going to deal with some of the comments that I've had through the videos that I've put up recently, and I just want to address a few issues. So that's what we're going to do today, and I've got a few little bits of news for you, and we'll take it from there. Well, I'm cross because they made no effort whatsoever to check me out or find out what my channel was about before they put up this complaint. But then again, I see the point. Why would they? They just see a guy buying Chinese fakes and want rid of me. And I guess that most businesses would do the same. However, I think that had it been my business, I might have had a little look at some of the content and found out a bit more about them, especially a channel entitled China Guitar Sceptic. You would expect that to maybe be not pro the fakes. But no, instead they decided to act like a large bullying business and try and push me off YouTube regardless of what my message is. And they don't have a right to do that, and I'm not going to let them do that. I mean, what happened to freedom of speech? At the end of the day, I've not broken any of the YouTube guidelines. I've checked that out in depth, and I definitely haven't. All I've ever been is honest and straight. I've told the truth about these guitars, and I've also picked out the good points, yeah, for sure. And I'm not going to lie to you, and I have never have. And I'm not going to put videos out that don't tell the truth. But I've never lied, I've never promoted these things. I've always brought out the ethical question. And of course, one of the reasons that Martin don't like it is because they obviously see me as promoting these fakes, even though I'm not. And I suppose their argument will be that I'm raising awareness. But I know for a fact from looking at all the comments on my videos and also the many, many, many emails that I get, that I've put an awful lot more people off of buying fakes than I have switching them on to knowing about them. And in fact, mostly my channel actually comes up when you have to search for Chinese counterfeits and fakes, because that's what I put in the tags. So you can't really fall across or stumble across my channel without looking for Chinese fake guitars or counterfeits, or being skeptical or without being skeptical about Chinese guitars. So it's absolutely ludicrous to think that Martin could think for a second, or any of you lot could think for any of a second, that I have done more harm than good, because that's just not the case. I've done nothing illegal. At the end of the day, other than in France and a couple of other countries, in pretty much everywhere, it's completely legal for you to buy and own counterfeit products, because governments do not stop you from doing that. So why don't the likes of Martin and Gibson go after their governments? Why don't they go after their politicians and push to have the purchase of fakes made illegal? I understand that lots of people accidentally buy fake products, and to be fair, I understand why they wouldn't go after them and penalise them, because the individual isn't anything like as rich as companies and corporations. So there's no gain, because if they can't take you to court and take plenty of money off you, there's no reason for them to prosecute you. So, but certainly Martin should be going after the government to change the law rather than coming after little guys like me. I've done nothing immoral either. If you look at the situation, I have bought these with the primary reason to show you honest reviews and honest opinions on the quality, and I've done that. So I feel that I've offered a service. If anybody's been immoral, it's the manufacturers in China that are using the intellectual property rights of the likes of Gibson and Martin and Fender and PRS, and it should be them that these corporations go after. You don't see many of these shops on AliExpress and the like closing down due to Martin going after them, but perhaps they should spend a little bit more of their time doing that instead of coming after me as well. Still, hopefully, America's new president, Trump, might have the same effect that our border forces recently had. That's why I've stopped buying these things. In the UK, the border force have cracked down and they're not coming into the country as frequently now. So I feel that my job over here in the UK is done. It's down to you guys now to do something about it in the States. And I think President Trump's talked a good job. When the Chinese president was coming to meet him, he was saying that they were going to be difficult talks, and he talked to him about dumping products. I mean, there's steel coming from China, there's honey even coming through various different countries to hide the fact that it's come from China. So they're certainly acting in a far more immoral way than I am, showing problems with fake guitars. So let's see what Trump does about that. At the moment, he's done an awful lot of good talk, but whatever your politics, it's actions that count, and we'll see what happens. I'd like to say a really big thank you to everybody who has been so kind and supportive of me, and particularly those who've made videos bemoaning the situation and offering their support. I really do appreciate that, and it's really kind, and it's meant a lot to me, and I really feel that's probably one of the reasons that I've come back and carried on making videos despite this aggro. But obviously there are a few people who aren't regulars to my channel, or maybe new subscribers. Hey to all of you lot. And I've had quite a few comments on videos recently. Well, I always have had them, but I like to reiterate this point from time to time. Some people have been advising me to stop buying the fakes. Now, That's really laughable to most of you who are long-term subscribers to me, because you'll know that the very last one that I bought was the D45 way back on the 22nd of November 2013. So it's now January 18, and this November it'll be 5 years since I've bought one. I only bought 6 in a 6-month period, literally to show the quality standards and the problems with buying from China, because I had problems with the first one, I had problems with every other one I bought. I went on to buy some more guitars, but I put my own logo on the headstock and refused to have any infringements on the guitars I was buying. But I haven't bought any, and I'm certainly not buying them. In fact, since the UK border force crackdown, my channel's been about anything but buying and unboxing Chinese fakes. And in fact, that's the other thing that a lot of people have been giving me nice suggestions about what I should do with my channel. And most of the suggestions they're giving me are exactly what I've been doing with my channel for the last few months. So I suspect that there's quite a few people who just decide to make a comment without, again, doing exactly the same thing as Martin and possibly YouTube, which is to make a rash judgment on me without actually checking out what I've been up to and what I'm all about. I think that's a real shame. So my content will continue to be whatever the heck I want it to be, and what drives me is my regular subscribers and the kind, polite people that comment regularly and watch my videos and join my live shows and all of that good stuff. And I will keep doing everything I can for you guys. But in terms of the silly comments that are going on my channel sometimes at the moment, you really need to check your facts before you make some of these comments, folks. And I'm definitely not doing any more guitars from China. I don't need to. My job has been done as far as I'm concerned. I've raised the awareness, and now this is just about guitars, this channel, and I hope you're enjoying it.
If you're going to play guitar, play it on the real guitar, not on the Chinese toothpick. How do you know the difference? Watch China Guitar Sceptic.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room. The 3 big manufacturers, Martin, Gibson and Fender, have got a history of building quality guitars, and they are trading on that history back from a golden age when they were first to market, when their quality standards were unreachable by most other companies. And we really are talking about a bit of a time gone by, although there's no denying that they still make good guitars. But now, a lot of these companies, you really are paying for the name to a degree, because let's ask the question, how much do they really cost to make? Okay, they're asking thousands of dollars for these guitars. Admittedly, in the States and elsewhere, the labour is more costly, but the materials are pretty similar. Other than obviously we've got issues with CITES, woods these days, but that's a good thing, I think. Although again, another thing that Mr. Trump may well disregard. But a lot of the steel and a lot of the parts are coming from places like China anyway. So the materials aren't a great deal of cost. There's also the reduction in labour costs through CNC and computer-aided building of these things. The guitars are now cut on CNC machines, and a lot of work that previously was very labour intensive, putting the fret slots in and pushing home frets. There's stuff now that isn't done by hand that used to be. So I get that some of the custom shop guitars would be fairly labour intensive and have got the very best materials, but even so, I don't really see many guitars costing much more than between 500 and £1,000 maximum, all told, even if they're really incredible materials. I could be wrong. Tell me what you think below if you think I'm way off whack, but these companies are now charging several thousands of pounds for their guitars. And they have to stop and ask themselves if this is part of the reason why people are interested in the Chinese copies and fakes coming in. Also, they have to look at themselves in the mirror a little bit as well, because a lot of these companies, many guitar companies, are now outsourcing the cheaper lines in their range because they want a guitar at every price point and they want to cover the market and make their dollar in every single part of the market. But when you think about it, Martin, Gibson and Fender, you have essentially given blueprints of your instruments to other countries and other manufacturers because they're not made by you in those countries 9 times out of 10. Or in fact, where they are, I've had some very interesting news. But I'll come to that. So Cynthia, from Martin, I offered to help you to counteract the effects of the fake trade, and you didn't even bother to reply to me. But I say to you now, have a little closer look in the mirror and look a bit closer to home at where these fakes are coming from and why people are buying them. And also, there are a lot of people out there, and I've had quite a bit of information passed to me that I could look up and verify, that states that the reason for the fakes appearing may actually be a little bit closer to home as well. One thing I can tell you for absolute certain, Cynthia, and also to Gibson this goes out, is if my channel goes down on YouTube, I'll just start another one. I'm going nowhere. But the difference will be the next time I make a channel, it won't be looking at Chinese fakes because I've done that. I've done my bit. I'll be coming after you, and I'll be coming to look for the truth underlying the rumours that I've heard that there may be some involvement in the fake trade by these companies. And if there's anything to be found, I'll find it. And so I would just say, be very careful what you wish for.